Returning now to breaking news out of India, where an Air India passenger plane carrying 242 people on board has crashed. Officials say there are no survivors. For a deeper analysis on what may have happened here, we're joined now by John Gradek with McGill University's Global Aviation Leadership Program. John, thanks for being with us today. All right, so the details are limited, but we do know the plane was leaving Ahmedabad Airport, bound for London's Gatwick Airport, when it went down just 5 minutes after takeoff. Is that any indication of what could have caused the plane to crash?
Yeah, one of the critical moments of an airplane's flight is really takeoff and landing, and those were most of the incidents that happen with these new aircraft usually take place in these two incidents. So it's something happened in the cockpit of that aircraft that the crew was fighting the controls of the airplane to, in fact, keep the airplane airborne. You see on some video that the landing gear is still extended on the airplane after takeoff. Usually, that landing gear is retracted about 30 seconds at most after takeoff. Landing gear on this airplane was still extended, and the airplane seemed to be in a stable flight pattern, but it was not gaining any altitude. It was like losing altitude, and it was flying in a straight line. So something went wrong on the airplane that the flight crew was very busy trying to rectify while the airplane was in fact losing altitude. So it was a moment of some concern on the flight deck of that aircraft.
All right, so John, what happens next then? What are the initial steps in an investigation like this, of this magnitude?
Oh, the recovery of the remains of the passengers and crew, of course. There was the two pieces of equipment on board that aircraft that need to be fed fairly quickly, which was a cockpit voice recorder as well as the aircraft flight recorder. Those pieces of equipment, most likely survive the crash. There's going to have to be an immediate analysis of the data on that airplane to find out what the story was in the cockpit and what the aircraft was doing in terms of its activity. Conversations with air traffic control. That conversation should have taken place, or should be ongoing as the airplane cruises out of the airport. So there's lots of pieces of data that are either readily available now or will be available shortly within the next 24 hours. That will give us a pretty good indication as to what was going on in the cockpit of that aircraft. But it is disconcerting. This is a Boeing airplane. There are 1,200 of these airplanes around the world, operators including Air Canada and WestJet. I think everybody's kind of concerned in aviation as to whether this was a one-off incident on this aircraft or is it something with the aircraft that needs to get
Well,
processed.
John, we've covered a number of air disasters in recent months. Has there been an uptick, or is this still the safest time we're experiencing in aviation history?
It's still safe. I think that if you're looking at your chances of getting killed in an airplane accident, in a commercial airplane accident, are thousands of times lower than it would be in a car or a bus or walking on the street. So we were flying tens of millions a day on commercial aircraft around the world. So these are very, very rare incidents, and we want to get to the bottom of it as what exactly happened and get that information quickly and to reassure the traveling public that this airplane is safe.
All right, John, thank you so much for your time today. That is John Gradek with McGill University's Global Aviation Leadership Program.